Okay, well, Joseph is looking for the negative report that he got from the lady who first hired him and seemed to like him for 10 years. While Joseph's looking for that, I'm going to read a letter from Thomas F. Bellow. And he's the one that in June 24th, 2010 says this: Dear client, he doesn't even distinguish you with your name. Did you notice that? He doesn't say, Dear Joseph Licari. He goes, Dear client, please be advised that I have accepted a full-time employment position which precludes me from the practice of law. As such, I can no longer serve as your attorney with respect to your legal matter. If you wish, I can refer you to another attorney with whom you may meet to determine whether you wish to retain him. If so, please advise and I will provide you with his name, address, and telephone number. If you wish to otherwise obtain counsel, please make such arrangements so that I can, in an orderly fashion, transfer your file to whoever you wish to retain. And then here's what you said in February of 2011. I see it took you a long time to answer him. I guess you were so shocked. Sometimes when I'm shocked, I can't respond for a while. But February 15th, 2011, this is the letter. Oh, this is also from him. I'm sorry. This is his letter.
There's a couple of repeats there.
Okay, I'm sorry. This is from Thomas Bellow again, February 15th, 2011, regarding Licari versus Bellow. Dear Mr. Licari, I am in receipt of your subpoena as well as the judgment and the next case you have filed in Small Claims Court. I am returning the subpoena with this letter in the envelope you provided with this letter. I am hereby warning you what you have done as a result of my representation of you constitutes a continuing fraud based on lies to the courts and the Bar Association. Your attempts to recover the funds you paid me, which you rely on the preposterous claim that you loaned me $5,000, are clearly unsupported by any evidence whatsoever. The check you paid me with, which you use as evidence, clearly states that it was for the federal filing which was done. Moreover, it has become clear that you made up this story up in an attempt to be able to get the funds back to hire another attorney. That I learned from a conversation with an attorney you consulted. It says, let me see. I can't read this. Something even Judge Cote saw through your actions and relieved me as your counsel. Thereafter you disregarded all her orders which led to the dismissal of your case. Simply put, the games are over. I will give you 5 days to withdraw your small claims action, agree to vacate the judgment, and notify the grievance committee that you misrepresented the truth to them. If you fail to do so, I will take the legal steps to get the above accomplished. In addition, I will seek attorney's fees, costs, and notify the court of your perjury. Moreover, since you have told others about this lie, I will bring an action against you for defamation. Please act accordingly, Thomas Bellow. He made it nice big print so at your elder age you can read it. Wow, how cruel this is. I notice he also says he's going to file against you, but in this other letter he says he can't practice law anymore, so he's going to have to get an attorney.
All double sauce, yes, both double sauce. Okay, this is Miss Frawley.
Let me read that.
Okay, this is when I worked in the building. 10 years I worked in this building. Just read this caption here.
Okay.
And then, now if you see the date is, April 7th. And this is April 7th. This is when she fired me. Then you can go on.
Okay.
This is the whole true story right here. And she wrote that, everything there. And I was glad she did it because I couldn't do anything better than the way she wrote it, because it's all lies, 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 and lies.
Okay.
And all these copies here, excuse me, all these copies here, it went to the EEOC. At Equal Opportunity.
Right.
She had it because they wanted it.
Right.
Mr. Fernando Joe wanted the rec, and she gave them everything, and
Okay.
Oh God.
Let's just get right into it. This is
Yeah.
Douglas Elman, Property Management, to all 465 residents.
Yeah,
What does
excuse
that
me.
mean, 465?
They weren't my employer. This is Douglas Elman. London Terrace Towers was my employer. They're the ones that sent me my checks, not Douglas Elman. The reason why Douglas Elman is always on his page, because she used Douglas Elman, Nancy always used Douglas Elman's stationery. And that's how they come. But Douglas Elman and, they're cahoots with the London Terrace Towers,
Right, okay.
But she used their...
But that's good to be careful and notice these things.
Yeah, because she
Read
used...
every word.
Yes, because she used their...
Okay. Okay, to all 465 residents, what does that mean? Who are 465 residents?
To all 465 residents? I don't know where she got that.
I guess there's some in that category.
I don't know. Maybe she's talking about the 4 buildings. I don't know, because she threw in the 4 buildings and they had nothing to do with it. It was only this building here, 465. But she says, the other buildings...
Is the building address 465?
Huh?
Is the address of the building
This one's 465.
Oh, that's what it is. So it's only the people in that building.
Oh, 460, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
From Nancy Frawley, Account Executive, date April 7th, 2005. Regarding schedule of work. What happened today? And these are bullet points. Thanks to residents in 2K, 9K, 14K, 15A, 15G, 16A, and 16G, your cooperation is appreciated. Next bullet. Please don't forget that Herein Construction will be starting to make the openings, the IJ line apartments on Monday. Due to the placement of the gas risers, the openings will be made in the J line. It is not too early to begin making preparations to empty cabinets and moving valuables away from the affected areas. If you haven't already done so, please read the notes below for additional information. My experience with management companies is they always load a whole bunch of stuff that they're doing for your safety and your benefit, but what they're really doing is bossing you around and saying who's the boss. They're giving you orders. That's just an aside.
Yeah, right.
Second bullet point. The B line and the AG line are completely plumbed. Ideal has made an appointment with the New York City Department of Buildings for next Friday, April 15th, the earliest date available, for the pressure test inspection. Assuming a successful inspection, reconstruction of the A, B, and G lines will begin directly thereafter. As these walls are completed, the plumbers from Ideal will reconnect your stoves' ovens. The gas will be turned on as soon as all the stoves are connected. And she, exclamation. We are making, next bullet point, fourth. We are making good progress, even though it sometimes doesn't feel like it. None of this could be happening without your sacrifices. Cabinet contents spread out all over your apartment, masonite and duct tape on your once nice walls, cabinetry in your living space, the dust, the noise, cooking in non-conventional ways. Your concern for the building and for each other has been an enormous help. Wow, your concern for the building and for each other has been an enormous help. So it would seem that in a stressful time like this, they would rely on somebody like you, who had good relations with everybody, to help them through this stress. Okay, here's the last bullet point.
Good.
We also want to take this time to acknowledge the efforts of our project managers, Gary Green and Gary Weil, and our staff members, Owen O'Sullivan, Izzy Benacourt, Michael Broda, Ricardo Vargas, Erwin Lenak, Joseph Alfonso, Luis Martinez, Ralphie Garcia Jr., Dean Goff, Patrick O'Connor, and Augie Suharyana. We cannot forget the lobby attendants in 465 either. Miguel Alvarez, Yasir Shawareb, Vincent Garcia, and Alan Bobe Velez, who answer your questions and let you know what's happening. End quote. All of these men have tried very hard to make this gargantuan effort as easy on you as possible. The crews from Herein Construction and Ideal Plumbing have been terrific too. They actually understand the hardships you have suffered and want to get the gas restored as quickly as possible. So I don't see your name in that.
That's what I just say.
You want to explain?
She never put, I don't know, she never put my name there. Why?
But you worked during this stress.
10 years.
Yeah.
These other guys, they're not even there. 99% of them, they're not even there. Who the hell are they?
Right.
And she just put names there, and she eliminated me. This was when they were plotting. This is premeditated what they were doing. See? To get me.
Okay.
Because, Paula, let me say something. I was a very popular fella with the tenants.
Can you get any of these tenants to write any letters on your behalf?
Oh, no, I can't. I wouldn't even bother with them, no. It's been so long, and, you know.
It's been 10 years.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Too bad.
Yeah, I don't want to get them, and, you know, I don't want them, you know.
Yeah.
Just with what's going on. I was the only one that was eliminated. Because, like I say, this is premeditated. Now, the next page, go there, same date.
Okay, what's happening next week? Monday, April 11th, apartments 2J, 3J, and 6J. Aaron will be making the opening in your kitchen, apartment 16A and 16G. Now, by this time, you were gone, weren't you?
No.
Oh, you were still working? April 7th, 2005?
Yes.
You worked until when?
I worked until... This was, what year was this?
This date is April 7th, 2005.
April 7th, 2005.
Yeah. And you worked until when?
Until 2005. That's what I've heard.
Okay, so when she says what's happening next week, you weren't involved in this.
No, but I was still working. If you continue on the next page, that's all construction. All that stuff is, she's meant, that's all construction.
The next page, again on Douglas Elliman Stationery, April 7th, and this is from Nancy Frowley, account executive, to Mr. Todd Jennings. Local 32J SEIU AFL-CIO, 101 Avenue of the Americas, New York, New York. Reduction in force at London Terrace Towers. Dear Mr. Jennings, pursuant to Article 7, Section 1 of the 2003 Apartment Building Agreement, notice is hereby given, effective 4 weeks from today, May 7th, 2005, the position of the afternoon lunch relief lobby attendant position shall be terminated. This reduction in force will occur as a result of our changing the work assignments of our midday lobby attendant porter. The midday position being held by Luis Martinez covered the morning lunch relief and then was available for non-scheduled last-minute services. We will no longer offer that service in the building and plan to have Mr. Martinez cover the lunch relief for both shifts. The position which shall be terminated is occupied by Mr. Joseph Licari. Enclosed, please find a copy of both Joseph Licari's and Luis Martinez's current schedule with their assigned hours and duties, as well as the new schedule reflecting the new position. If there are any questions concerning this matter, please do not hesitate to contact me. Yours very truly, Nancy Frowley. And this carbon copy went to Pete Flynn, Real Estate Advisory Board, Steve Engel, BOP President. What's that? Board of Directors? Okay, is he still the Board of Directors? Is he still the President?
I don't think he's there, no. They change so often.
Okay, here's the 25th of April, 2000.
The guy who's still there, you have to see how long, if he's still there, is the guy from the union. It's Todd Jennings. He's still at the union.
Okay. Now here's to you from her, and she goes, Dear Joe, it has come to my attention that you are engaging multiple residents in conversation about the Board of Directors' decision to eliminate the 4-hour evening lunch relief shift from our employee schedule. I am also aware that you are asking these residents to sign a petition to keep the current shift with you in that position. Local 32BJ has been notified of the change. If you feel you have an issue, your recourse is outlined in the grievance section of the contract beginning on page 12. Joe, the superintendent, has offered you various full-time and part-time positions, all of which you have rejected. Mr. O'Sullivan's offer still stands. However, you are jeopardizing that offer by putting residents in an awkward position and potentially adversely affecting management's and cooperative's relationship to its residents. This is a situation that we cannot and will not tolerate. You must stop both discussing the matter with residents and asking for them to sign your petition immediately. If you continue, we will have no choice but consider disciplinary action up to and including suspension and discharge. Yours very truly, Nancy Frawley. Again to Stephen Bagel, Board of Directors, Todd Jennings, Local 32BJ, and Peter Finn, Real Estate Board. Now, I thought you were fired. How can she suspend and discharge you if you were fired? What does that mean?
Well, that's the day she fired me. But they gave me 3 weeks of, what do you call it?
Severance pay.
Whatever they call it, you know. You'll come to it.
Okay, so this says you're living in London Towers. Care of London Terrace Towers, 405 West 23rd, 2E. Who lives at 2E?
Oh, that's the management office.
That's the management office.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's care of the management office.
Yeah.
So now, were you handing out a petition for people to sign?
No way.
You weren't.
I never seen it.
And they don't. And now all these positions they were offering you, is any of those offers in writing?
All lies.
So they can't substantiate that.
All lies.
So that's some serious backpedaling here.
It's all lies. Why are you offering me all these jobs, and you took the job that I away from me? What? Why? You know, this is. Every time I say, well, what about me? Oh, no. You're not getting them 4 hours. Why? Why don't you want to give me back my 4 hours? But they all want to offer me this, they offer me that,
Did they offer you these other positions?
But it was but it's stupid. I don't want it. I want my routine back. No.
What were the other jobs they offered you?
Oh, some off-the-wall stuff. I can't even remember. Something stupid, you know. 40 hours a week. I don't want 40 hours a week. Not at my age at the time. Right. I want my steady part-time job that I had.
Right.
Oh, well, you know, everything, all lies and lies and lies and lies.
In other words, they wanted to offer you something that you didn't have the capacity to accept at your age, but 4 hours a day was fine for you.
Yeah.
And fine for the people.
Yeah, but they offered me the 40 hours. I said, no, I can't have it. Oh, okay, but I want the 40 hours.
Okay, let's go on. Now, here, May 3rd, she's writing you another letter.
Mm-hmm.
May 7th, as you know, ends the 4-week notice to Local 32BJ of the elimination of the 4-hour lunch relief shift, which you have been working. I know that Mr. O'Sullivan has spoken to you about different options with respect to a full-time position. Even though you have only worked here part-time and in addition to those you've discussed, I am formally offering you the following. One bullet point. The 405 lobby resident position in the 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. shift, Saturday through Wednesday. This shift is temporarily available for the next several months as a result of the 465 gas repiping project. Well, that's no security for a couple months. Next bullet point. When the 465 project is completed, or before that time, whichever is sooner, if other full-time permanent shift opens, your seniority will guarantee a full-time position. Okay, so it seems like she's getting a little nervous. She's trying to offer you something, right? In addition, if you choose not to accept the above offer and would like to continue your employment on a temporary part-time basis, you can choose to work various 8-hour shifts to cover sick calls and vacation on an as-need basis determined by the superintendent. Of course, we cannot guarantee a certain level of employment under this circumstance. If you choose to accept neither offer, according to the provisions of Section 7.2 of the Collective Bargaining Agreement between Local 32BJ and the Corporation, consider this letter to be your 1 week's notice of layoff, effective May 9th, 2005. Section, let's see, this would be in Roman numeral 1720.b, also provides for termination pay in the amount of 1 week's pay. This pay, as well as any accrued vacation, shall be paid to you on the next pay period. Please let Mr. O'Sullivan know your intentions in writing no later than May 7th, 2005. Yours truly, Nancy Frawley, and this went CC to Owen O'Sullivan, Superintendent, to the guy at the local whatever, and then it's cut off.
Right. Todd Jennings, he's on everyone. That's the guy that was in cahoots with them.
That it's probably the Peter Finn Real Estate Advisory Board. What is the Real Estate Advisory Board? Anyway?
What do I know? What has he got to do with this?
Right, and
such ridiculous.
We should find out what the Real Estate Advisory Board.
What are you sending these people if they're not interested in this?
Yeah.
They're not interested at all with this nonsense.
So here we are on the 11th. Dear Joe, Owen O'Sullivan, the superintendent, Izzy Betancourt, the assistant superintendent, met with you today to discuss your schedule. Eddie Torres, a fellow lobby attendant, was also in attendance. As you have told us that you do not want to work full-time, and in an effort to accommodate you, they offered you a less than full-time schedule of 3 8-hour shifts. You stated that you would accept a new schedule beginning on May 16th, Monday. It is from 7 a.m. through 3 p.m. Mondays, Thursdays, and Wednesdays. Please reference my letter of May 7th, 2005. It stated, this shift is temporarily available for the next several months as a result of the 465 gas repiping project. Next bullet point. When the 465 project is completed on or before that time, whichever is sooner, if other full-time permanent shifts open, your seniority will guarantee a full-time position. But you never wanted a full-time position, so she's not saying much.
But
we do not have an end date to the 465 project. As more information becomes available, we will share it with you. So she's obviously writing things because she does suspect that somebody's looking at it. Mm-hmm. That would be the union. But maybe she's also sending it to this Peter Finn because a real estate advisory board is a kind of a peculiar name to me. That
he's got nothing to do with this.
Yeah,
nothing.
I'm wondering if they're undoubtedly securitizing the leases. Mm-hmm. And so when people find out about that, that's something they always want to make sure that people are not communicating in a building.
Yeah.
You're too innocent for that, but that's my suspicious.
That's all. She's all double talk. She's oh God.
Dear Joe, this is May 14th, 2005. On Thursday, May 10th, you came to my office. You did not have an appointment. You were in your lobby attendant uniform. When I invited you in, it was clear you were agitated. You proceeded to tell me you had come to work as usual, only to be told that you were not working that day. I reminded you that I had sent you a letter on May 7th that clearly stated that May 9th would be the last day of the 4-hour shift. I also remind you that we had a conversation early the week before confirming that information. You said you were confused about what days and shifts you were supposed to work, so I sent a copy of my letter to you dated May 7th and went over it with you. I also called the superintendent to confirm that he had been over this with you several times. Had that been the end of the conversation, I would not be writing this letter. You became increasingly more strident, sarcastic, and accusatory. I told you to stop using an abusive tone of voice and to calm down so that we could discuss your concerns. You did not listen to me. You accused both the management and superintendent of singling you out for dismissal. I explained that you were not dismissed, but were offered options, one of which you had selected, the temporary full-time 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. shift. You yourself confirmed this in writing to me on May 6, 2005. You angrily replied that you didn't want and cannot work 8 hours, that you only want the 4-hour shift to which you had previously been assigned. When I again explained the reasons why this was no longer possible, you said that we were lying to you. So at this point you must have been 77 years old?
77, about 77.
77.
It's about 77,
yeah. 77. Yeah. So obviously you don't want to work 8 hours. I'm 62. I prefer not to work 8 hours too.
Paula,
I work my own hours because I like what I'm doing.
Yes, of course.
But
Paula, what I'm saying is, what I wanted my routine back that I had for 10 years. Now you see all this double talking. Oh, we offered you this, we offered you that. What about the 4 hours? And the 4 hours till today still remains.
Somebody else is doing it?
It still remains. It'll be there forever.
So someone else is doing that job today?
Yes. They're doing it. That job has been going on since the day I left. Somebody's got to relieve these guys for their dinner breaks. You know, that's a contract.
For a 77-year-old, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That was a union contract. He's got to
it
still
was a
sit on.
union contract, and you paid dues to the union.
Yeah.
And the union didn't take care of you either.
Not one thing. Like I said, they threw me under the bus.
That's so heartbreaking.
They acted as.
Let me finish.
Go
this
ahead.
letter.
Good. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
No, that's okay. It's just so fascinating because I know I'm learning about this as I'm going along, and so are my viewers because I've never done unions. I've never done, You then brought up my letter of April 25th saying that you did not engage residents, members of the board, or other employees in conversations about the shift change. You're unhappy, but you know what? Even if you did, there's such a thing called free speech that you should be able to talk to whoever you want. You shouldn't be ashamed of that. I know, but it didn't happen.
Paula, it's not true. It's not true. It's not true. I'm not going to throw something in there when it's not true. It's not true.
I know, but I'm just saying, reading it the first time, why can't people talk?
Yeah.
Why are we all like living in a prison to these management companies?
Yes.
All of us.
Yes.
Because even the people you would be talking to, they like to be talked to. They like to friendliness and engaging. They like to know what's going on. They're assuming that their board is taking care of them.
Yes.
I have the painful job of having to point out very ugly realities that not only is their board not taking care of them, their board is working against their financial well-being. So anyway, that's me. Okay, your unhappiness with the situation, or ask for their support to make management rescind their decision. I told you that I knew you did, but that we would not take any further action if you would simply stop. You yelled at me, prove it. You're absolutely right. In court, they would have to come up with proof. They would have to subpoena the people who they're claiming you petitioned. And I'm sure they couldn't do it because my board couldn't do it when they accused me of subleasing. And I won in court.
Right.
And still I had to pay both sides of the attorney fees. I had to pay $7,000 of the other side. I won 2 out of 3. I won on usurious penalties and late fees. They waived that. I won on no sublet fee. The only thing I lost in that housing court was I had to pay the maintenance. So even though I won 2 out of 3, I had to come up with $7,000 or $8,000, and they demanded that it be paid in postal money orders, which means that the court itself seems to be stepping into some fraud. You threatened to sue us. I responded that I knew you had filed a grievance, and that was the proper forum for resolving any dispute we might have. Your demeanor was insulting. Your tone of voice was threatening. You were insubordinate. Ooh, you were insubordinate. You refused to listen to reason. Joe, your constant displays of anger and belligerent behavior must stop immediately. The corporation made a business decision to eliminate the 4-hour shift for good cause, but they don't say what it is. We have offered you continued employment. In fact, several options were offered. Recognizing that you are upset, I will give you another chance to act in a professional manner, but this is the last time. Any further behavior of this sort will result in your termination as an employee of London Terrace Towers. Yours very truly, Nancy Frawley, Account Executive. CC Peter Finn, Real Estate Advisory Board. Again, we've got this Real Estate Advisory. What is a Real Estate Advisory Board? Then Todd Jennings, Local 32BJ, the guys who threw you under the bus. Then Steve Engel, President, Board of Directors. We can expect the President of a Board of Directors never to do the right thing. We can expect that. We can expect them always to do the financially lucrative thing, but not even for the shareholders, just for a certain select group on the board. But that's my experience. I don't know. I'm only putting that in. Here's London Terrace Towers Owners, Inc.
Yes,
this is the first time we've got London Terrace Towers on letterhead there. And that's from Nancy Frawley.
Is that from her?
No, that's from her. This is the first time we see something from her on London Terrace Towers Owners, Inc. Okay, May 16th, 2005, Mr. Joseph Licari to your house on 7th Avenue, and then also care of London Terrace Towers, their management office at 2E at 405 West 23rd Street. Dear Joe, this morning at 8:40 a.m. I was sitting at my desk looking at my camera monitor. I saw that the 405 lobby was unattended by either a lobby attendant or any other employee. I also saw resident Jim
Lombardi, right, yeah.
Landolfi, it says,
Yeah.
Landolfi,
Yeah.
who was obviously searching for the lobby attendant. I immediately left my office in the 410 basement and proceeded to the 405 lobby. When I arrived in the 405 lobby, is this when you went to the bathroom? Okay. When I went to the 405 lobby, it was still unattended. I mean, I've been realizing you could put cameras on somebody
Yeah.
and just watch, and as soon as there's a chance, you send in your designated person. Like
Yeah.
this Tim Landolfi, we need to get a subpoena probably from him. You know, but maybe...
No, that'd be nice.
When I arrived at the 405 lobby, it was still unattended. I spoke with Mr. Landolfi, who told me that he had been looking for the lobby attendant to assist him. He had looked at in the closet, the mailroom area, and even went outside the front door. I apologized and assured him that this breach of security would not happen again. I was compelled to act as the lobby attendant in your absence. Oh my God, she was compelled to be a mere lobby attendant. Oh, how shameful. Oh, how awful. Wow. Approximately 7 minutes after I saw the unattended lobby, you emerged from the bathroom located in the mailroom area and went and sat in the lobby attendant chair. After I said goodbye, like what were you doing, playing video games in the bathroom? After I said goodbye to Mr. Landolfi and Dean Goff arrived, I immediately inquired about why you had left the lobby unattended. You responded by yelling, "I had to go to the bathroom. What do you want me to shit in my pants?"
Oh, God.
You continued to shout, gesticulate in a threatening way and be verbally abusive to me. I'm sure you wouldn't say that.
Of course not. God.
I told you to that you couldn't be screaming like this in the lobby and that you should not have left your post. I pointed out it was a breach of security and created an embarrassing situation in front of the residents. I then told you to go home. You refused. I repeated that you had to go home. As residents were leaving for work and to avoid a more embarrassing scene, I left the lobby. I went to get another employee, Tony Moran, and returned to the lobby. I told you that Tony would be taking over the shift. I asked you why you hadn't called a porter or me to relieve you. You said you didn't think of it. That's it.
Yeah. Now this is Jim Lombardi.
Where does she sign though? There's nothing signed here.
Maybe there's something.
Maybe
I'm missing something.
Take a look for your records for the May 16th.
Yeah, maybe I'm missing
When you
something.
build a case, you got to have your paperwork in order.
Now this is Jim Lombardi there, but did he mention this Jim? Now he's never there at that time of the morning. Never. Now if you subpoena him and show him here, this is what they said about you, he'll hit the ceiling. He says, "This is not true. It's not true. It's not," which it isn't true. He's outside looking for me. He's in the mailroom looking for me. He's in the... Look at me for what? You looking for assistance? What assistance? It's all lies. All this stuff she said, all this language that she's using.
Yeah, I know.
My God, what do you take me for? I'm a grown man.
Isn't it?
I'm a grown man.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's not even about suing for money and pensions. It's to get your dignity back.
Yeah.
I know.
That's all that, you know.
I know.
This is...
I know. Here we are, August 25th. Dear Mr. Jennings, and this again is from Nancy Frawley. In consideration of settling case number 21936 and all outstanding issues surrounding the termination of Joseph Licari's employment at London Terrace Towers, we have agreed to the following. Case number 21936 will be withdrawn with prejudice by the union. Withdrawn with prejudice. Who started this case? The union started this case.
I don't know who started.
With prejudice. With prejudice means that it can't be brought up again somewhere else. That's not a good thing.
I don't know what they did.
2. Mr. Licari's termination for violation of security procedures, his failure to cooperate with the management, and his use of offensive and abusive language shall be converted to a suspension from the date of his termination until the day he reports to work. The date upon which he returns will be mutually agreed upon by the parties. And then it says here, October 7th, but I don't know what that means. 10/7/0577, so I don't know what that means. 3. Mr. Licari will be assigned to the following shift. Fridays from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. in the 405 building. Man, they give you the graveyard shift. Saturdays from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. in the 405 building. And Sundays from 1 a.m. to 5 a.m., giving the relief to the lobby attendants in the 405, 410, 465, and 470 buildings. That is so cruel.
Yes.
4. Mr. Licari agrees to refrain from discussing this matter or any other building business with residents of London Terrace Tower. See, they always got to have some kind of squelching of free speech, some type of putting you into some demeaning position where your voice is not worthy to be shared with others. But they make the residents feel unworthy in other ways too.
Yes.
So the residents are afraid to talk. So it's all fear, fear,
But this
fear.
is what they're saying.
Yeah,
I don't believe it.
I know that.
Yeah.
I know that. But all I'm saying is that if people can just speak freely, you can't do these kinds of things.
Right.
You would nip it right at the bud.
Exactly.
You just say, that's not true.
No.
And then you get a couple of people to be your witnesses. Like when you sign a contract, you just have you and the person signing and 3 witnesses.
Yeah.
That's as good as any court or anything.
Yeah.
That's contract law.
Yeah.
So that means you could get 3 residents on your side and you could blow out any of their nasty schemes. Just if people talk.
Yeah.
And if people respect each other. If residents respect people who are helping, and if the help knows that they have a voice, that they can be seen.
Yes.
Anyway. Okay, it is further agreed that this is a last chance settlement and any future infractions of a similar nature could lead to his termination. The parties agree that this settlement is made on a non-precedent basis and shall not be cited by either party in any future grievance, hearing, arbitration, or any other forum except that involving Mr. Licari. That sounds terrible. They're taking away your remedy. But look at this. She's got Todd Jennings signing it. She's got you signing it. You signed it. Why did you sign something like this? You didn't know, huh? You should have put all rights reserved because they were stripping you from your rights.
I know that. That's what they did. They framed me on that. Because I told Todd Jennings, I said, I don't like this what's written up on top. He said, oh, we're going to erase that.
Be careful what you sign, people out there in television land. Joseph was innocent, he didn't know, but one thing I would suggest when you're really forced, like to get a driver's license, put at least all rights reserved, or at least put ARR, so in the future you can say, I was under duress, because clearly you were under duress.
Yes.
So.
Now this is my union rep. He's supposed to help me, but he's nudging me. Sign it, sign it, sign it. I says, I don't like the way it's written on top here. He said, oh no, we're going to erase that. We'll erase that. You know. He
said sign it and they'd erase it in retrospect.
Yeah, I says, I don't like what's written up on top. I said, oh, don't worry about it. We can erase that. But every time he's nudging, what, you know.
This is good. Let's continue.
Yeah, go ahead.
October 13th, 2005. Mr. Joseph Licari, and they send it to your 7th Avenue address. Dear Joe, enclosed is a copy of the settlement agreement signed by Nancy Frawley of Douglas Elm, Todd Jennings of Local 32BJ, and you on September 22nd, 2005. After a lengthy discussion to ensure that you and all the parties present understood and agreed to the terms, you signed the agreement in the presence of Todd Jennings, Enrique Ray, Izzy Benacourt, Nancy Frawley, and me. I didn't see those signatures, but maybe they weren't on the photocopy.
No, they didn't sign. No,
they didn't sign.
They were just
in the presence. Okay.
They were just witnessing there, you know.
Okay, so you could bring them in, but on a fraud case,
oh yeah,
I'm sure they'd want to be careful.
Oh, I'd love to bring them in.
I mean, what you really need to do, we need to get a RICO thing going, or racketeering, because that's what you begin to find out what's going on. Is that my experience is that you've got 5 groups. This is my experience. you've got the co-op boards, you've got the management companies, you've got the law firms, you've got the banks, and you've got the courts. And you have a few criminal elements, not all of them. None of these institutions per se are bad. You know, a board isn't bad per se, a management company's not bad per se, neither is a law firm, nor is the court, nor is the bank. Most of the people are going to be good in these organizations. But you get a few criminal elements inside them to make deals, ultra-virus outside, and they use their connections in these different institutions. That's how they do it. So unions I don't have an experience with.
Right.
But it's usually a variation of the same theme, which is screw the little guy.
Of course.
Okay, but if the little guy finds his voice, this is what's so powerful about our Constitution, is that due process and equal protection means truly in the eyes of law, we're all equal and we all operate under the same law.
Exactly.
So, okay. Dear Joe, enclosed is a copy of the settlement. Okay. I had hoped that your return to work would be seamless, a fresh start. So it is disturbing. Yeah, fresh start, seamless, like in the middle of the night. Who cares in the middle of the night? So it is disturbing that we received a copy of the enclosed fax you sent on October 4th, 2005, to the main office of Douglas Elliman Property Management. Do you have that fax here, October 4th? I'd like to see your fax.
I don't know. I don't remember.
Don't worry if you lose your temper. I lose my temper all the time. You know, in the Supreme Court, they wanted to take me to Bellevue. So I do lose my temper now and then. And, you know, it happens. We can lose our temper.
I lose my temper 1 inch. Okay. I'm too smart for that.
Okay.
I've been around.
I'm not as smart as you are. So
but I mean, with experience, I've been around, you know. I don't argue with women. I don't argue with women, and I don't argue with the policemen. Those are two people I don't argue with.
Yeah, right. That's smart. Yeah. I should learn.
And look at all this language that she's using against me. I don't, half of the things I don't even know what she's talking about.
I would like to find your fax of October 1st of 2005. See if you could find that. To the always keep records of everything, Joseph.
Yeah, I know.
Everything.
I know.
I keep records of stuff that I have no idea what it means. It just makes me feel crummy.
Yeah.
And even though I don't know what it means, just that crummy feeling is enough for me to file it away.
I know.
And then later on, when I learn more, I go, wow, look at this.
Yeah.
I've got this thing, and you know, and I pull it out, and it's evidence. You build up a case because ultimately you need to stand before a jury of your peers, not of a banker's peers, not of a court who is picking out under a registration of voters that's registered by the District of Columbia, because that is an entity foreign to our Constitution. The District of Columbia entity regards us as individuals. But individuals in their language means aliens applying for permanent residency. Now, why would we consider ourselves aliens applying for permanent residency? But that's when you have to learn law and you have to learn the language.
I know.
And you will learn because you're strong. You have a good attitude.
Yes.
You've always behaved correctly to people. All of this will be in your arsenal of credit. So that when you put your case before a jury of your peers, not a jury of a banker's peers or a court that has a Dun & Bradstreet number that is a commercial operation itself, that's not a jury of your peers.
Right.
But like right now, you're going out to 650,000 households in Manhattan. These are viewers who are just clicking the channel and they're watching. And a lot of them are following my show because they want to actually learn something useful.
Of course.
And so I'm trying my darndest to protect my intellectual property so I can continue the relationship with my viewers because I'm under threat and attack also. They want to take my show and put it to 1,995. They made a deal and they're selling that which they had no right to sell because they weren't the real party of interest. They pretended to be offering free speech and to service my need for free speech, but just like the union threw you under the bus, I have my grievances too. But I'm always hoping to work with people. And that's why I want to learn your story, because one way or another I am going to help people. If MNN and it doesn't work with them or I get knocked out, I'm going to figure out how to get
Yes.
before my peers one way or another. I'll go down to Union Square and get on a soapbox and start all over if I have to.
That's the way, yeah.
But I know that the law works if you work the law.
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
So here we are, October 13th. This is on London Terrace Towers owner's letterhead, sent regular U.S. mail, hand-delivered to you. Okay, Dear Joe, enclosed is a copy of the settlement agreement signed by Nancy Frawley of Douglas Elman, Todd Jennings of Local 32BJ, and you on September 22, 2005. After a lengthy discussion to ensure that you and all the parties present understood and agreed to the terms, you signed the agreement in the presence of Todd Jennings, Enrique, and all of those and me.
Yeah.
Okay, so I hoped your return would be seamless. I also want to recap our conversation of yesterday, October 12th. You called to request 2 vacation days this coming Friday, October 14th, and Saturday, October 15th. I told you this was not sufficient notice and that I would not replace you on these shifts. I offered to cover your shifts the following weekend or any other days in the future so that you could use the vacation days. Can you explain what that's about?
Every time I ask for a vacation, I got nobody to relieve you. I got nobody to relieve you. That's all double talk. All double talk.
So you never got vacation?
Oh, I got it. But I forced myself to take it.
Yeah, I see.
I give them 3 weeks notice. Oh, I have nobody to relieve you. I got nobody. All this double talk, you know. When I got the new job, I want to erase everything and start the new year right. I want to use my vacation time, everything that I had coming. I want to use that all up and let's start the new year.
So you actually tried you tried the midnight shift and all of that?
I worked the midnight shift.
You did?
Oh, God, it was hell.
At 77 years old?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I wrote to the president of the board. I says, I'm not happy what they did to me, and so on and so forth with this midnight shift. You see how they maneuver to get that midnight shift between Todd Jennings, Nancy Frawley,
I know.
between the three thugs, the three liars.
Know, yeah.
See how they maneuvered?
I know.
How
You then said you were not coming to work anyway as you had something to do. I told you that you must come to work. What does that mean?
Oh, he's threatening me. You come to work, as I'm not coming to work. For some reason, whatever it was, I had,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let me be clear. Bullet, your request for time off was not made in a timely manner.
Mm-hmm.
Your request was not approved. No wonder you didn't want to ask to go to the bathroom. You might not get approval.
I would have soiled myself.
You then said you'd be taking today a sick day. I informed you it would not be recorded as a sick day and that you were being sent home for non-performance of your duties. Joe, the main responsibility of the lobby attendant is maintaining the security of the residents in the building. You know that the lobby is not to be left unattended at any time for any reason. In addition, while I am aware that you are not happy with the elimination of the 4-hour shift you had been working for 10 years, she doesn't say, your attitude towards management and me in particular has been completely unacceptable. You've been rude, disrespectful, and insubordinate. I have no choice but to conclude that your violation of security procedures, your failure to cooperate with management, and your use of offensive and abusive language is more than sufficient reason for your termination as an employee of London Terrace Towers, effective immediately. Please make arrangements to return your uniform to me within the week. Any vacations or other pay that you are due will be sent to your home at the time of the next pay period. Yours truly, Owen O'Sullivan, Superintendent. Peter Finn, Real Estate Advisory. Todd Jennings, Local 32. Steve Engel, President, Board of Directors. Now, I'm curious, is this Owen O'Sullivan an educated man to write a letter like this?
Nah.
So it was written by an attorney and he signed it.
He's a dummy.
He didn't write this letter.
He copies everything from Nancy Frawley.
Yeah, see, I really like our super here, but I don't think, much as I like him, and he's from another country, he could not write a letter like this. He tried.
He copies everything from what Nancy Frawley.
Yeah.
Everything she says, he says.
Okay, so here's all the discharge instructions, these pages. Oh, here's another one. Via mail, here's October 17th, 2008, and this is U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, New York District Office. This is October 17th, 2008. This is to Thomas Bello, and this is from Ricardo Jones,
Right.
federal investigator.
Right.
Okay, regarding Joseph Licari versus Douglas Elliman Property Management. Charge number 160-205-02206. Dear Mr. Bello, enclosed is a copy of the respondent's statement of position in response to the allegations contained in the above referenced charge of employment discrimination. Please be advised that your client's charge will be reassessed in the near future. This means that a decision will be made as to whether or not further investigation would reveal evidence of a violation of the statutes enforced by this agency. However, before we proceed with this assessment, you are being afforded an opportunity to present any additional information and/or evidence you wish to be considered. Your evidence may include statements of witnesses. However, such statements should be in writing and signed by the witnesses. In addition, the rebuttal must address the issue of respondent's defense regarding the employment relationship with the charging party. The rebuttal must be in writing and should be submitted to this office on or before October 31st, 2008. If your rebuttal does not contain sufficient information and/or evidence that the respondent's position statement is pretextual or untrue, the Commission may cease processing this matter and issue a dismissal and notice of rights. If you have any questions, you may contact me. Now, what happened with Ricardo Jones?
Who's that? That's
He's the federal investigator.
yeah, right. That's for the EEOC, right?
Yeah, what happened with that?
Nothing. He got all the information that he wanted, and I wrote it down in writing, and I sent it to him.
And nothing happened.
But no.
Yeah, usually nothing does happen.
Yeah, it's just
We have to build a case where all of these people are
Yeah.
tied in at the same time,
Yeah.
because what they're doing is they're throwing a hot potato back and forth to each other.
Exactly.
But again, at the end of the day, it's not even elder abuse or senior discrimination. What it really is getting rid of people who have the memory of freedom, of being respected,
Exactly.
of believing in the Constitution.
Exactly.
The young people that are brought up, they're all nailed to these iPods, and they don't have the ability to hold a long thought. Everything is sound bites, fast, 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 and nobody can put together a case.
Exactly.
They can't even in themselves
Yeah.
figure out what's going on, so how could they present it in court?
Of course.
They don't know how they've been hit.
Exactly.
And older people know this. That's why they want to get rid of older people.
Yeah.
Not because they're less competent, because they're too competent.
Yeah.
Okay, now this must be the last part of another letter. Be warned, should you fail to appear for your 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. shift on Friday, October 14th, you will be immediately terminated from your employment at London Terrace Towers for gross insubordination and abandonment of your job. Yours very truly, Owen O'Sullivan. Okay, so this goes to the other page, so we can straighten that up. And again, this is CC to Todd Jennings, Local 32BJ.
Oh, yeah.
Stephen Engel, President of what is he the president? Oh, he's the board.
Yeah,
this says, okay, London Towers.
Right.
And then there's the Real Estate Advisory Board, but we don't have a name on it. Who was the guy before?
Is that Finn, whatever his name is?
Now, so Finn dropped off. A lot of times what you find is they get deeper into fraud, more prominent people drop off.
Yeah.
You see, like Carol Tucilio from Argo Management, when I first sued my board for changing my locks in 2004, yeah, they broke and entered my place and they stole my stock certificate. But this took me a while to figure out. Yeah, talk about feeling creepy and uncomfortable.
Yeah,
and that's why being able to talk to the super and thing is very important. So I've sent a cease and desist and put a lot of pressure on the super, so now the super can put a pressure on whoever's telling him to violate my rights. And now Carol Tucilio never has anything around this building anymore in her name.
Wonderful.
So that's good. Now, before that, when I sued them, because I'm just new at this and somebody helped me to put together a suit, and the first pass, they sent me a whole bunch of scary stuff and then billed me $18,000 to pay for their attorneys. Now on this first submittal, it was called a rebuttal in opposition because they never put in a proper signed complaint because there's fraud involved.
Yeah.
See, that's why if you push this hard enough, you can do far more than a union, you can do far more than a lawyer, just by studying and understanding what's happening.
Yes, yes.
So Carol Tucilio signed and verified that first reply in opposition. Subsequently, she never signed any verification after that. Then when I sent paperwork, she said, oh, send this to our lawyers, Bora, Goldstein, Altshuler, Nayens, and Godel. And I didn't want to do that because by that time I was suing Bora, Goldstein, because I realized this wasn't right either what the lawyers were doing. So I didn't want to send it to the lawyers and save postage hoping they'd pass it on to her because they don't. Everybody covers their butt and tells other people things that probably aren't true just to save their skin, particularly as fraud escalates. So I went ahead anyway and spent the extra postage, even though ink is expensive, paper is expensive, and postage is expensive. But I sent it to her anyway because I didn't want in the future to hear, oh, I wasn't served, or no proof of service, I didn't get it. So I make sure that everybody knows.
Of course.
And I like to send it to organizations to create embarrassment for the fraud. So you find the best organization you can and keep sending them and saying, is this any way that New Yorkers should be treating each other?
Exactly.
Just get it down to decency.
Exactly.
So now here's another one. This is 2005, November 21st. And it says, on September 27th, this is back to Douglas Elliman.
Yeah.
And this is signed by Nancy Frawley. And it's CC'd to Steve Engel, the president of the board. Peter Finn is on this one. Todd Jennings, local 32BJ. And Owen O'Sullivan, superintendent. Okay, this is the last letter. This is important, I'm sure. You really did a good job keeping this in order.
Okay, I did my best.
But I would like to see your letters too, so in the future keep your letters too.
I'll do.
November 21st, dear Mr. Licari, on September 22nd, 2005, you, Todd Jennings, I can't read that word, your something representative, and your union representative. See, I don't know anything about unions, but I'm learning fast because of you.
Okay.
See, that's the thing. I learn from my viewers.
Wonderful.
That's why I'm saying, when I'm grumbling about Channel 34 being sold fraudulently, they didn't only sell my intellectual property, they sold the viewers' property, because the viewers know where to find this information.
Exactly.
And I have learned as much from my viewers, I feel, as they've learned from me.
Sure.
I just try to be faithful to it and try to do the best job I can.
Yes.
That's why when you came over and I saw you in the lobby, I thought, this is wonderful. Because people said, oh, you shouldn't post your address, you shouldn't post